Okay, I filled in as much as I could of the buildings at Mabry's Mill. I wanted to show you how after you get this done, you can actually take your pencil, colored pencil, your brown, your black, whatever color, and you can come in with some lines. Now, I told you not to do lines. I had you hold your pencil sideways, and we did just the color spread on. You can leave it, or if you want to do a few more details, now would be the time to add in some details, just like some wood grain. And you don't have to do that, but, whoops. But you want to just have a little bit more color in there. And just kind of look at it and see. It's like, this is still a little bit of white showing through. You might want to come in. You can layer colors from the bottom back on the top now, if that makes sense. So we started with yellow, and then we've done orange, brown, black. We put a little bit of blue in here. You can actually, if you want to come in with some yellow again, just layers of color. It just makes it look really good if you've got lots of color on here. Okay, so that's just an option. I did not tell you before, but you might want to black in right here and right here because it's dark inside of there. If you want to do a yellow inside of there, you can. I told you to put your black in all of these spaces. What I did was just got it on kind of like a medium gray. If you want to go in and darken it up a little bit more, you can do that. It's up to you, however you want it to look. There's no right or wrong way. I kind of like it a little bit darker than the gray, but I just didn't take the time to do that. This area right here, I did not mention that, but that's just going to be dark right there. Okay, now the grass and the tree branches. Oh, before we do the grass, right here, you don't want any white sticking out anywhere. So do you want blue water right there? Do you want Caribbean blue water where the pond is kind of a yucky color? If you want to put the blue there, you can. And then maybe because the wood is underneath, you can put the brown in. See, I'm bumping up against that fingernail. That's my guard. If I go over top of the black, it's not really going to matter. I just want to tone down that light blue. I don't want that light blue to really stick out. Okay, and then take a look at it. Right in here, I went really dark because in the front board and the back board, remember we had 2 lines right there. So I went darker in there. If you want to go a wee bit darker, just get your black and put a shadow there. Okay. Now, obviously I'm not finished and I didn't take a super amount of time doing it. I would look at some places that look like they need a little bit more color and try to just finish it off. But for sake of time, I'm going to keep going. So I said up here we will do the watercolor. You can do green and yellow trees, green with a wee bit of yellow mixed in, or you can do the fall trees. Before you put the watercolor on, I would put some brown on my tree limbs. You can put a little bit of, you can do the same thing, you can build up some colors. Because trees aren't really brown. If you look at trees are usually kind of black looking or they're kind of gray looking. Okay, I don't know when I drew this, but I really don't like this line, but I'm just gonna put my branch in there like that. Okay, a little bit of black in there, just some bark. A little bit of bark, a little bit of detail. If you want to put something else, another couple places you can. This is where you may just have Sharpie. Some of you just did Sharpie lines. It's kind of sticking out. I could trace that with Sharpie, or I'm just going to do this real quickly like that. Okay, maybe let's do one more right here. Maybe one more little branch. Okay, fluffy. Okay, now I'm going to leave that alone because up there's where I'll do my watercolor. Now, hopefully you have at least a light green and a dark green, because you don't want green grass. I mean, like bright green grass. You want to add a little bit of the yellow green in there. If you don't have a yellow green, put your green down. It's just such a pretty green, but grass is not that color. And this time of year, if we've got red, orange, and yellow foliage up here, it really would not be super green. So just kind of dull it out. If you want to add another, just to kind of brown it down some, I just put a little bit of orange in there, not a lot. You can put a little bit of brown in if you want to. I like the light green because it looks the most realistic. You might hold your pencil up and do just a little bit of detail work like that. Okay, and then I would finish over here off the page. The paper's being kind of, I'm trying to rush. I would finish that in with some dark and some other colors. Okay, some here. If you did any kind of vines. Okay, now the water. The water has always gave me trouble because it's pond water. I've had students do watercolors that's bright blue and it looked out of place. Oh, we forgot the rock. Let me go to the rock first and then I'll come back down here. Sorry. And I got a little bit of white showing here, so just some touch-up stuff wherever you need things touched up. Okay. I would do this gray or brown. It's all kind of the same color. It's up to you. I'm just going to put some straight brown on it. Just, if you want to add in your yellows, your oranges, your other colors, you can do that. But I'm just turning my brown pencil sideways and making it kind of tan. And if you want to leave it like that, you've got lots of detail in the building, you have lots of detail other places, that'll be fine. Or, let me show you real quickly, you could come in and just a little bit here and there. You could draw some moss, you could draw, you know, whatever. Take black and go over it with gray. Okay. And then down next to the water will be kind of dark. Okay, now back to the water. Sorry. Honestly, I don't know, because watercolors usually just cover it so dark and so muddy. I would almost do blues, greens, browns, oranges. This is what was done here. Blue, like a purpley blue. There's some green, there's some yellow, there's, I believe, some orange. And then what we did with this one was we took just a little bit of blue, whole lot of water, and just got it wet. And right here's where we put just a little bit of blue watercolor on, and we're letting those pencils show through. So I would just make sure you've got it sideways. And all right, this is your pretty blue. Make sure you go side to side. Don't go up and down. That water's not up and down. The only water up and down would be right here. Okay. Just get a little bit of blue on. Ooh, that was kind of dark. And then maybe some regular blue. You're just going to take some colors and kind of cover your white. Okay, so we've got the pretty blues, but is that pond this color? If you've been to Mabry's Mill, you know how gross looking it is. It looks like muddy water. So bring some brown in there. Okay, all I'm doing side to side. Maybe a little bit of green, just tons of color in there. Water for real artists, I mean like professional artists. Water is very complicated. Some of the students that I've taught this Mabry's Mill to had good results with having like a reflection down here. That's just so complicated. I think we're just going to try to skip that. Okay, so all I'm doing is just building up colors, and they're colors that don't really like each other, so it's just kind of looking muddy. A little bit of yellow in there. Make sure you're just side to side. And then it's prepped. It's ready for just a little bit of watercolor on top of it. We could do a blue, we could do a brown, whatever. This is watercolor, just blues and oranges. This one from years ago, one of my first ones that I did. You see this one's drawn different. It's just blues, yellows, but it's still pretty light. Here's one a student did. They did blue and they did yellow. Okay, so back to here. This is probably what I would lean toward. Okay, it could have a little bit more detail in it. You could work on this till kingdom come, but I'm liking it pretty good right now. Okay, thanks for watching.